again to Elena for Reels. My guest for today is from Utah. I met her back in the Philippines 17 years ago, and we will tell you more about it. Please welcome my dear friend, Grace. Hi, Grace.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for letting me have you on my little show. We met 17 years ago. Can you tell
Yes.
my viewers if you remember how we met?
I think either sa seminar, yung sa DFA, and then I think sa embassy.
Yes, yes. That's how I remembered it too. I think we spent the whole day at the embassy doing our thing, processing our papers in preparation for our, trip to the
Oh,
US. Yeah, so that's how Grace and I met. Both our husbands petitioned us.
yeah.
So, Grace, I'm always interested in the love story of my friends I interview. Can you tell me more about your love story? You and Troy, right?
Yeah. We met, I think we met on like writing a letter, like in a pen pal letter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's initially, it's my aunt that was here already here in the US. She's doing all the pen pal thing. And then uh she was already married years ago, and then letters came to our address, and then I reply on one of
Really?
the guy of the yeah, and then I told that him that my aunt is already married, and I'm her niece,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where it started. But even before I met Troy, I met another one, a pilot too.
And Troy is in the military, right?
He is a civilian. He was a military before, but he what do you call that? Medically discharged.
When was that?
Oh, years ago.
When did you get here?
I think it's around maybe August, or yeah, I think around August of 2004 when I got here.
Amazing because we just exchanged our Yahoo Messenger IDs. When I got here, I think you were one of the first people I contacted because I know you were already here. And
Mhm.
then that was it. And then we moved to Facebook eventually, but we
Yeah,
never saw each other again, right? Until today.
it is what's that, MySpace?
Oh
Remember my
yeah, MySpace first. That's how we just update each other. And then I think I remember you moved to Japan.
Yes. I think after maybe a year later, maybe 6 months later, we moved to Japan. We He got the job, a
Mhm.
civilian job, for 2 years. The contract is 2 years, but you could stay there till for 5 years. But we only stayed there for 2 years. Dahil nami-miss niya yung home. He loves his family.
Mhm.
All So typically, alam mo na, yung Christmas, Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
you know, all his mom and dad and his sisters are here. That's why.
Yeah.
Kaya 2 taon lang kami doon sa Japan, and then we moved back here. He
Mhm.
misses really hard yung flip side of the time.
Mhm.
So everything that happens here already done. Finding out things like that, and he doesn't really care for it, being there, like yeah, he wants to be around with the family. At the same time too, family could help, with the kids, because I have 2 young kids.
Oh yeah, so when you move in the US, when you move to Japan, you already have two kids, right?
Yep, I had a 6-month-old girl. It was Sydney, and then I was pregnant during that time, and then that's where I delivered Shannon. So si Shannon, Okinawa baby yan.
Okay, so what's your citizenship now? Filipino, American, Japanese?
No, we are all U.S. citizen.
Ah,
Basically,
okay.
no, she was born in Japan, in foreign country, as long as it is a military installation, U.S. installation. Yeah, the kids are
Still
U.S.
American.
If she wants to be a Japanese, she can. She later on, if she wants a dual citizen, then that she could apply. But I
That's
think when you were born in a U.S., like a naval hospital, yeah, you're automatically a U.S. citizen. Yeah. And,
considered territory of the US.
yeah.
Okay. I remember, Grace, you mentioned to me or you shared with me before when you were in Japan, you were able to bring your parents to
Yes.
Japan, right? Did they stay the entire 2 years with you?
So I think they only stayed maybe 6 months. I think 3 months at the initial. I can't remember what's the Japan's law. I
Mhm.
think you stayed so much, like maybe a 3 month only, and then we file an extension. So that's why they were able to extend their time there at least 6 months. Yeah. So they stayed there for 6 months. Yung nakatulong sa akin nung mga anak ako doon. So they were able to take care of the baby, and then we have a toddler. Having around your parents were able to help you. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I that than to have somebody else that I don't know will take care of my kids.
And plus, it's expensive too, hiring somebody who will take care of your baby spa, right?
Exactly. They're all Japanese, and I don't know their language.
In the 2 years that you stayed in Japan, did you ever try to learn how to speak Japanese?
No, everything is transitioning to me. Like from 2004, I was moved here in the U.S., and then 9 months or 6 months later, oh no, maybe 9 months later, I moved. We left the U.S. We
Mhm.
left in 5, so and then we stayed there 2008. Basically, it's like on the move. I'm like go 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 go.
Yeah.
It's a lot of transitioning, a lot of adjustment. Um, Everything moved too fast for me.
Yes. How was your transition stage? Because you weren't even a year yet in the US, and then here comes the job offer in Japan, which Troy accepted. So were you like excited? Were you like hesitant?
Scared at first because just basically the three of us. Of course, when you basically start embracing it. You basically have to adjust it. You have to accept the fact, hey, your husband get a job, you have to go.
Mhm.
You're left behind. You have to go with him. So yeah, uh,
Mhm.
uh, like being, I think it's natural to us as a Filipino that we adapt fast. Come on, let's go. Like, but it,
Pack your
yeah,
bags.
even though inside you're scared. You know,
Mm.
you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what's you're waiting for back there.
Mm.
So
But the parents, the presence of your parents. How long have you been in Japan before your parents could join you?
I think we're already maybe uh less than a year. I think
Mhm.
um be, before I my due date. I think because Shannon is born July 5th,
Mhm.
maybe around May or June. Got them. We started processing the paper. Luckily, we knew like my coworker siya na American, and then has also a Filipino wife, na tinulungan kami, got us the idea to bring them there and help us out.
Was the process difficult to bring your parents in Japan? It was just a tourist visa, right?
The tourist visa. I can't remember. That's one thing. Yeah, I don't really have. I can't remember the. Yeah, hindi ko
So I
na.
guess because you can't remember any stress, I guess it was so easy, huh? It was so safe to say. Yeah.
What what happened was, I think we fill out the paperwork. Basically, yung naval, what's that? Yung camp poster ata, yun yung like a naval office there. Sila ang nag-process, yung admin. All you have to do is submit a paper. And I'm not sure if we had the supporting documents that we did.
Oh.
Oh, I think we did. We have to have a like an order. Before we go, before we went to Japan, you have like a paper. They call it orders. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the military that hey, you have to move here and then work here, or even a military. If my spouse is a military, they have to have an order,
Mm-hmm.
or like that signed, that hey, official paper that yeah, you could come here in Japan, something like that. So
So when
yeah.
you moved back to the US after 2 years, did you consider asking your parents to join you in the US even for a tourist visa again?
Uh well, the motivation behind bringing them here is, first, it's getting harder for me to support them back then. Second, my sister, yung bunso kong kapatid na nasa California, she's having a baby, or she already have a kid. Both of them are working, and in order for her, to take care of the kids, hindi niya ilalagay sa babysitter yung anak niya. Yeah, that's when the time I got a chance to bring them here.
So your parents are here in the US.
Yeah, they're in.
But they are in California.
Mm,
But it was you who applied for the petition for them, or it was your sister?
it was me, because mainly I'm the I have a job, and then of course my husband assists me for that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think humingi din ata ako ng mga supporting documents from them, but it's mainly you have to have a primary sponsor and then a secondary sponsor.
So was their visa a tourist visa, or are they now permanent residents?
I think when I got them, they're for permanent resident.
Ah,
I didn't do the, how it is, a tourist visa. It is really hard here,
it is. It is.
asking a lot of stuff. Even a rich family or a rich person that had money, it's really hard. It's like going through a needle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. So it's really disappointing to
Mm-hmm.
hear other people does that. We did it the right way. I spend a lot of money, supporting them, and then processing the papers, everything that before they even come here, all the paperwork, all the fees, I had to pay it.
So how long was the process? Did your parents wait months to get here for their petition to be approved?
If I remember correctly, maybe a year or a year and a half, filed the paper, and then paid all the fees, send them the money to get all the necessary documents, and then prepare all my supported documents in this side and then their side. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a year and a half. Just in time, for them to come here. Yung kapatid ko, yeah, she has her baby, and that I was able to help them.
So you petitioned your parents, both of them,
Mm-hmm.
but once they got approved, do they go straight to California, or they spend
I
time with
have.
you first?
No, they come to me first. I had to get them, buy them the ticket, stay here for uh, maybe 2-3 weeks. They stayed here. I took them back to California. I brought my mom first, because my mom never ever travel on a plane. Never ever left other than riding in a plane, traveling by herself. No, she won't be able to do it. So I had to, of course, take my time off, and
Mhm.
then got her and bring her here. And since my dad is, I think a month later or 2 months later, my dad came here. Got left behind because he has something, like settle things first. Because my sister still there. Yung bahay namin sa Taytay.
Mm.
Uh, he has to like put in order things. I can't remember why did he left behind. I think maybe financially too. So it's a lot of money. So sabi ko sa kanya, si mama muna, mama is can't travel by herself. So I had to come there and get her. And then I'll just send you the ticket and then just fly here.
You mean you went back to the Philippines?
Yeah, I went back to the Philippines
Oh,
to bring my mom here.
oh, okay. Wow.
A lot of money that I really an expensive trip. So lucky
Yes.
kids are still young that time, and it's not as expensive. We're able to afford to do those things.
I wanted to ask you from the Philippines you moved to the US and in less than a year you moved to Japan.
Mhm.
When you get to the US, when you came here, were you already driving in the Philippines? And so
No,
you have to learn?
yes, I did learn. Trust me, it is. Yeah, I've never learned how. I had to force myself to learn how to drive. I've never experienced to ride in a like a public transportation here. I rely on my husband all the time for 5 years.
During that time you were already working?
No, so I had to mainly focus on the kids. So I didn't work for 5 years. I don't drive. I always wait for him to drive me around. And then when they're starting to go to school, that's when the time, yeah, he said, you have to go start learning how to drive. You can't be relying on me all the time. We pay a school, like that.
Oh, so you went to a driving school. Yeah, I did too. Now I want to ask, how many tests did you take before you for the benefit of my viewers, the reason why we ask is because it's very common for a Filipina. It seldom happens that a Filipina who is new to driving will pass the test the first time. But that's one thing that kind of was like a lesson for me, that for people who wants to come here,
Hmm?
they should learn how to drive first. It will
Yeah,
be so much easier for both the husband and the wife.
when you know how to drive, because you have freedom and you're not relying on your husband. And then especially if you guys have kids, or like have a Filipina from there, and then have already kids and brought their kids here. Yeah, you have to learn how to drive.
So how was Troy's temper when he was teaching you? Was
Well,
he
he's really patient, but of course you could tell he's annoyed and like probably scared.
so it took you I mean you were a full-time mom for 5 years.
Yeah,
And then what job did you apply for
I
when when you finally decided you wanted or you needed to work?
So at first, like maybe the kids are maybe 3 years old or
Mhm.
years old. I'm trying, like in Sam's Club or Walmart. I'm not having any luck. But when I was in Japan, I did work for maybe two, 3 weeks in what do you call it, the department store of the base.